7 years ago now.
Yes.
Y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
Welcome to our first edition of PopQ Podcast. In this episode, we will explore Jada Pinkett Smith's book, Worthy. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing so you never miss any news in pop culture. We are missing the point of Jada Pinkett Smith's book. The book is about surviving poverty, escaping the hood, defeating all odds to become wealthy, healthy, and a better parent to her kids. There's a few lessons we learned through Jada's vulnerability. We learned that it's okay not to be okay. We learned that it's okay to feel pain and acknowledge the pain. We learned that it's okay to seek for help. We learned that it's okay to open up about your struggle, even if they are unconventional and unpopular. That takes courage. As a conservative, we cannot be married to a partner and decide to separate for 7 years, and while separated, sleep with other mates, while still sharing the same house and consider coming back together with our previous partner after those 7 years. It does not make sense to us. Our society dictates to separate, and eventually, if we stay separated past a year or so, to consider divorcing. But who or what is society? Society is us. Society is you. It's me. It's us. Do societal rules work for all the same? And this is why we side with Jada. It's okay for her to share her truth. Where we disagree is the agenda to educate us on how to maneuver through her struggle if we find ourselves in a similar predicament. No, Jada, we will not take a page out of your book as to how to live our lives. No one should copy anyone. People should do what works for them as long as it doesn't hurt others. Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith have been married since the 90s. It's a long time. If you do a survey and ask couples that have been married for that long how happy they are, a lot of them will tell you they're unhappy, but most of them are staying married. That doesn't mean they don't love each other. But what Jada is teaching us here is to study and recognize what makes us unhappy and try to fix it, however way we think is best for us to fix it. She had her way of fixing hers, and no one should take a page out of her book to fix their lives. You should do exactly what you think is best for you. After a while, when you've been married for so long, you get tired of being with the same person. When you get tired, do you keep divorcing over and over? Is divorcing the solution? If you keep divorcing over and over, thinking you'll one day find the one, you'll never find the one, because the one is who you decide is your one. People need to understand that. Sometimes you find love and it will be your greatest love of all. Why? Because this person meets most of your criteria. Notice we said most. That's right, most. There's no way someone will check every single one of your boxes. No way. So at some point, you take what you get and seek for what's missing elsewhere. That is why sometimes you see men cheating left and right. It's not because they don't love their wives or their partners, the mother of their kids, but because they are looking for something they are not getting at home. We are not condoning this behavior, rather explaining societal behaviors. Some women have accepted their men back after cheating, just like some men have accepted their women back after cheating, because they understand there was a lack and stepping out was to fulfill that lack, however long they decide to step out for. In Jada's and Will Smith's case, Jada was lacking some things. She was young when she was married to Will. We don't think that she even dated before Will. Side note to young girls, it's okay to date. Dating will enable you to find out who you are, what you like, what you don't like. And in some cases, once you are in that healthy relationship, it will allow you to appreciate your partner and more, because you would have a benchmark to whom you can compare them to. And so, if you've never really dated someone and you happen to be in a relationship that is unhealthy and abusive, you will not recognize the abuse because you don't know any better. You have nothing to compare it to. Back to Jada and Will Smith. Jada was lacking things. She was hurting and did not know where the pain was coming from. She was hurting and she did not know where the pain was coming from. She said when she hit 40, the pain started. Most of us call this midlife crisis, Jada. But in any case, on her quest to easing the pain, she thought sex would fix it. She thought sleeping with other people would heal her. And she asked for permission to Will to do that. For those out there calling Will Smith a wimp, a weak man, it takes a real man to be attentive to his wife's needs, to want her to be happy at all costs, even when it could cost them their reputation. If more Black men can step up like Will, more Black women would be in a healthy relationship as opposed to what we see these days with broken homes. That said, Jada and Will spoke about separating and they communicated what they were doing with whomever while they were separated. You know, some of you want to cheat or have cheated in hiding. Have you thought of what if you could communicate your actions prior to happening to your partner? Would that help your relationship or hurt it? Most breakups are as a result of cheating. And cheating is equivocal to backstabbing or betrayal. What if breakups happened because both parties are no longer in love? Because both parties no longer feel any chemistry? Wouldn't we have a healthy society? At the end of the day, we are humans. We have needs and we are unpredictable. Communication remains our best tool of interaction. When well used, we could build stronger and healthier bonds. Will and Jada way of living the marriage will be studied in decades to come, we think. Better yet, we think most people in Hollywood will start, if they haven't started yet, to adopt their ways. The year 2023 is the year of breakups and divorce. The number of divorces this year alone is astronomical. When Jada was on her book tour, there was a news that broke about Meryl Streep being separated for 6 years from her longtime partner. So if they've been separated, we haven't heard any news that they were dating other people on the side or not. But if they've been, the news didn't say they were divorced, they were separated. So we think this is something that's already happening in Hollywood. People are getting divorced, but because they have a lot at stake, they remain separated and opted to not get divorced on paper because that could or would get messy. Instead, they separate and they, explore other partners on the side. And if they decide to come back together, then that's that. We think if people were to separate and come back together, obviously, they should be in a monogamous relationship at that point because they decide to choose each other. We know this episode is not popular opinion at all, but we are approaching this topic in a more humane possible way, with the predetermined notion that humans are flawed, humans like change, and though we are humans, we do have some animalistic instincts. We would love to hear from you. What do you think about Jada and Will Smith marriage? Is it broken? Is it unhealthy? If they find their way back to each other and stay married, meaning they're no longer dating people on the sides and they're committed to each other after those 7 years of separation, do you think that marriage at that point is irretrievable? Do you think the marriage is toxic? Are there some lessons that you have learned from their experience? If so, which ones? Could this be a solution to keeping more celebrities from separating? Could Will Smith and Jada's separation and way of dealing with the marriage be the solution to keeping more celebrities in Hollywood married? Comment below. As always, we love you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.